Hey, Professor Homa, and we're going to start working on our Angus Steakhouse logo design. Again, it's more practice for our logo, but we're going to, since there was a logo contest here, we have a lot of things to look at. We can compare some apples to apples with some of these and see how what we do matches up between what other people have done. And there's some nice ideas here, some ideas that work, some that don't. You know, just click on some random ones here. And this only has 2 stars. And why did this get 2 stars? Well, it's a little, I don't know, a little hard to read, possibly. It's using gradients. Probably wouldn't work well at small sizes. This one only got 3 stars, but I really like it. I think it's nice and bold looking. You want to be careful. This is kind of a slab serif, and this is a serif down here. I would probably go with a more of a sans serif, more of a, you know, Helvetica or something real bold down here than another serif in these small sizes. But it's kind of a nice bold looking icon. They repeat the black here, the red stands out, and it works nice in reverse too. Some of these here, you know, it's worth going through. This one, I think this one looks a little more amateur. You know, it's a real detailed sketch of the bowl. There's a lot of detail in here. You go back at small sizes, it's you know, you're going to lose something at small sizes, but you know, it's not bad. It, you know, you have an orangey color and a red color, so it doesn't really pop. You know, and if some of the logos we looked at, there's a lot more contrast, a lot more open. This is, you know, you're trapped in the circle here. You can't get out of the circle. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'll look at one more, see if I find a little more cleaner one. And there's a lot here. I thought this one was kind of clean, and it's definitely clean. I don't know if it's the best one, but nice bold style, kind of a modern looking font. Very plain sans serif down here. Here's some horns up here. Not crazy about the thin lines, and it's a little detached. Needs to be moved down a little, or maybe on the side or something. But not a bad logo. See, that's closer to what we're getting to. It's real. You could put a color in there, or you don't have to put a color. It works good in black and white. It could work if you made that red or orange or any other color. So that's a nice looking logo. All right, back on the first page. Here's one. We looked at this in class, and it's kind of interesting. This is probably not a good example because these things look like some kind of headphones. This doesn't really come off as horns quite. It's kind of a weird, almost butterfly shape. The Angus here, it uses the capital A, capital S to kind of, for people were asking why a capital S at the end. Well, it kind of balances. You know, it creates symmetry, which is good. There's a little too much space in here. And then you have all this symmetry, everything's centered, and then they move Steakhouse off to the right side in just this kind of bigger font. That kind of, the bottom part really, it needs something to kind of really center it at the bottom, to kind of give it like a foundation, not to have something, you know, putting something off to the right is good when you have like something up on the top left, and then you get movement going top left to bottom right, but they don't have that here. You know, it works a little bit more in this one. Matter of fact, the logo works better with that thing in white. It looks more like a skull. I don't know if the knife and fork might be a little cliche, and the horse and the cow is a little too realistic, but it's interesting. I like the type that they're using there. It has a neat look, a plate, and you know, people might be a little too literal with the cow because it looks like kind of a nice, cute cow. You like to think that you're eating more of a vicious cow or something when it comes to that. And they spelled steakhouse wrong. It's steakhouse they have in there. Okay, here's another one we looked at, and this is kind of interesting. It's interesting. It's a little odd. The eye, I guess their ears and the eyes are in there. It's a little weird, but overall, like, it really has a nice look. The font, you know, nice kind of font with kind of sharp edges, which mirror the sharp edges on the horns. So that they're mirroring. That's kind of repetition. It's mirroring the sharp edges. You know, that goes together really nice. The Angus and the type, and then it kind of contrasts with kind of a very casual kind of steakhouse script font. Kind of a handwritten font at the bottom, and it's light and makes this stand out. Very nice combination. I love the font combination. This thing's a little odd with the ears, and those eye shapes are a little weird, but and you know, it seems a little big, but it does do a nice job of leading your eye down to the logo. It's just a little maybe too detailed of an icon that's in there. I think this would look with something simpler to the side. Very nice type. But this thing's a little odd at the top. So this is a great place to get some ideas, look around, and see what they're doing. Real simple kind of stuff. And again, this is for the most part easy stuff to do in Illustrator, like half moon shapes, things like that you could join together. Obviously, the rings would take a little more time, but it's stuff you could do. Just do one side of it, then copy it and make the other. So, you know, horns, you could do a lot of circles and just kind of chop them out. and I'll show you how to do horns when I go to the Illustrator part. But just kind of did some quick pencil sketches, you know, again on just little on a sheet of paper. Didn't do a whole lot. Just did 3 quick sketches, real quick. Took maybe 5 minutes to get them down. I did one where I did Angus and a scripty steakhouse, and I put horns on the side. Then I thought, well, maybe a nose would work on the bottom. Another one, I used an oval kind of shape. I usually try to avoid having things in an oval, but like that old kind of sign look where I have Angus Steakhouse and maybe like a bowl in the middle. This one, I was thinking of more of a taller, thinner kind of font, like some of the others we looked at, and with a small steakhouse and maybe a knife, just to get out of the cliche of horns and bowls. How about a knife, since we have to cut up steak? So those were my ideas that I was going with. And what I'm going to do for the next video is I'm going to go into Illustrator and look at some of our ideas. We're going to have to get our PMS color, our red. We just chose a red PMS color from looking at a PMS book, a Pantone matching system color book, and then we started working from there. So that's going to be the last thing that I show you in the next video.